I was going to say, let's start off with Raw, but actually let's talk about the two big AEW announcements that just came out. So AEW is premiering a documentary series called AEW Stories, and they're doing a documentary on last year's All In that is coming out on Monday. So that's pretty exciting.
They're really starting to like pump out more and more doc content.
Yeah.
Which I love. I think there's no such thing as too much when it comes to wrestling and behind the scenes stuff. There's always stuff to be consumed.
It'll be interesting to see the level of kayfabe that they keep, because I feel like with like
I feel like they usually don't.
Right. I was gonna say with WWE there is almost a small amount of kayfabe that they keep into it, because like even with the Cody doc, right? Like I'm sure they had more of a plan, but Cody was like, "Oh, I won," and like it's like all this stuff. I don't know. It's just sometimes the way they talk about the matches where they're like, "Oh my God, I'm so excited I won." It's like, you knew you were winning.
You knew you were going to win.
Triple H told you before you went out there. So, it's going to be interesting to see like what level AEW keeps of kayfabe.
Yeah, I feel like they tend to not kayfabe it a super amount. But regardless, the teaser looked great. And I'm definitely excited. I will also say, just regarding this year's All In, we know they're not going to hit the same numbers that they did last year, but I think they're finally acknowledging that,
right?
Because we can get into it more later, but Swerve on Dynamite with like literally name dropped like in front of 60,000 people or something like that. And I was like, okay, cool. So we're not gonna be delusional and pretend that like
you're gonna sell out Wembley again.
Yeah. Like we all know sadly that's not gonna happen.
How do you feel about the build to All In now, right? Because we were talking about even a couple weeks ago, we were talking about how All In does not feel nearly as big as last year. And the builds were weird, but how do you feel now that we have 8 matches announced on the card and we're so close to it? We're just over a week away. So
after this episode of Dynamite, I actually like started feeling the excitement for it.
Yeah.
Because now it's like it's a week away.
Yeah.
Before I was kind of like it hasn't really like the build hasn't felt crazy, and now like this episode was the real like boiling point for a lot of the feuds. And yeah, you're right, and I'm sure that's not going to be the end of the match announcements. You know what I mean?
Right. I feel like we're probably going to get a Stadium Stampede.
You think so?
I feel like we have to, right? I just don't know who it would be between. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like that's a pretty elite-centric match. Yeah. The elite's always involved in it, and it doesn't look like they all got their own matches. So I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, fair enough.
I can't think of anything going on right now.
You can't even do like a Blackpool Combat Club because like Danielson's in the main event, and then unless you have like Mox return, but what's he doing?
Everyone's kind of split up doing their own things. I don't think you need a Stadium Stampede for this,
Yeah, I don't think you need one, but
we also don't need to load this match with this card with matches.
Right. We're already at 8. Is that 8 counting the pre-show match or I don't
9.
remember. Oh yeah, so it's 9 total because we have 8 on the main card and then the pre-show match. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Like not a lot though for AEW.
Yeah, I know. Usually we get 8 and then 4 pre-show.
Yeah, right.
So,
but
we'll see.
Yeah. So, I think after this week, the hype is kind of we're getting there now. Dynamite's in Cardiff, Wales this week, which is really cool.
And Collision as well.
And Collision. All In's on a Sunday, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And that's actually the last pay-per-view for the year for AEW. That's on a Sunday. The restaurant. Oh no, we have.
Wait, the restaurant on Saturdays?
Yeah, the restaurant on Saturdays. All Out's on a Saturday, and then all the ones after that are on Saturdays.
Really?
Because we have 4 more after that. We have All Out. We have Wrestle Dream. We have.
I was gonna say, are they competing at all with
World's
WWE?
End, and no, I don't think
they are.
so. World's End, and then what's the Full Gear.
Full Gear.
So they're all on Saturdays, but I like that better, honestly. So I don't have to stay up till fucking 1 a.m. on a Sunday before work.
Yeah, I will not complain, dude.
Yeah. And then the second big AEW announcement is All In Texas has been announced for Globe Life Field in Arlington. Did you know that the mayor of Arlington's name is Jim Ross? No relation.
That's crazy.
No relation. I was like, what the fuck? Because it said Mayor of Arlington, Jim Ross, is excited to bring AEW. I was like, huh?
Not my JR.
Not my JR, but yeah.
Not my JR.
All In Texas has been announced for 2025 with a July date. 40K that stadium holds, so that's pretty exciting.
I think they could do it.
Yeah, I think they're going to have no problem with 40K.
Yeah. I mean, that's still huge too.
Yeah.
I think
really big. It's
people are gonna
first domestic stadium show, right?
Yeah, I think so. Well, do you count Arthur Ashe? How big's Arthur Ashe?
Oh, true.
23,000. That's like half. So
yeah, so this is our first like massive one.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it'll be good. I think people are gonna use any excuse they can to be like, yeah, but it's not 81,000.
Yeah, and like it's not 100.
And like, yeah, it's disappointing that was probably a one-time thing, at least for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
But you gotta give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, and it was that, and they also announced that I don't know if this was in the official announcement, but apparently they're also working on an Australia show, which I also don't think they'll have any problem.
Yeah, I was gonna say Australia. Like, I don't know how big of a crowd you could pull in Australia.
Well, like Elimination Chamber, they had WWE had no problem. I think that was like 60K. I'm sure AEW won't have any issues either. So, depending on where they do it, if they do it in Perth like WWE did, or Sydney or whatever, like Perth. Maybe they'll have Big Bronson Reed.
That'll be the Continental.
That'll be the first build to AEW x WWE.
Worlds collide.
Big Bronson Reed as the WWE ambassador.
How's your Intercontinental?
Oh, I got the Intercontinental right behind me.
Oh, there she is.
Right on the shelf.
She's even positioned just like Tonga Loa would hold her.
It's true.
Wow.
There's nothing holding her up. She's just sitting there.
I love that.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So yeah, pretty big stuff for AEW. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Some big announcements. And then they are returning to Wembley for 2026. Tony Khan said. So I don't know.
So they're just taking like a break?
They're taking a year off, yeah.
Look, I don't think they'd make these big moves if they didn't like have some kind of plan or like some kind of like good feeling that like.
And with these moves, like, I think it just goes to show that Tony Khan is not worried about tanking.
He's not worried, but he's also just like a little bit Delulu.
Yeah,
like we know that. We know that.
Like, I don't know. He'd have to pull something big to get another 80K for Wembley in 26.
I mean, look, 50, 60K is not bad.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Still a fuck ton of people. That show's gonna go crazy.
Right.
And who knows? You might get some last minute ticket sales. I think I can look right now.
Maybe they'll lower them. Start handing them out. $50 all in Wembley. Sorry, 50 pounds. 50 quid.
50 quid.
You telling me I can go see Will Ospreay for 50 quid?
God. I'm trying to find
I'm sorry to any UK listeners, if there are any.
I love British people. Don't get it twisted.
Oi, bruv. I'm gonna go see Will Ospreay beat MJF for 50 quid.
God. Let's hop into the show, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.